What is up, everyone? Today is Tuesday, which means that's time for another live Q&A. As always, I'm your host, Paul J. Lipsky, here to explain or answer any questions you guys might have about dropshipping onto different marketplaces like eBay and Facebook Marketplace. Welcome to 2024. This is my first live stream of the year, my first video of the year. So if you're brand new here, make sure to subscribe, check out some of my other videos. Then if you have any questions, come to one of these live streams. I do them every Tuesday at 4 p.m. Eastern time. Also check out the description of this video. There are a ton of free resources in there to get you started on your dropshipping journey. Let me jump into the live chat right away and we'll start to answer some of these questions. If you're here, say hi and let me know what one of your, financial or other resolutions are for 2024. I'll go over a couple of mine later in a minute, but I just want to give a shout out to some people who are here. We have Zaizin here. We have Waleed here. What's up, everyone? Cantaste, Omar. How is everyone doing? Awesome. All right, so let me start to answer some of these questions, and then I'll talk about some of my sort of goals for this year in terms of dropshipping and other things like that. I think I missed something here. Something's off here. So Waleed says, "Hey, hope you are good, sir. My question is that my eBay store is suddenly dying. I don't know, but I tried optimizing everything about my listings. I only got 2 sales in December. I'm even promoting listings. Just about to close my store." All right. So, unfortunately, it's so tough for me when I get questions like this because I want to help as many of you as possible to achieve your financial goals, to build an online business for you that works, that brings you in a side income, maybe even more if that's what you're looking for. But it is really hard for me to help in situations like this where I don't have all the information, unfortunately. There's a lot that goes into building a successful store. It depends on how you're finding your items, the product research, how you're optimizing your listings, how many listings you've put up, how long you've been doing it, where you live. All these things matter. And without knowing all of that, which really requires me to go in and actually look at your store, it's really hard for me to answer specific questions about why your store isn't working. I know that this model of dropshipping works. I have students every day who join the course who end up being successful with it. I hear success stories from my students all the time. So I know that this does work. But again, without looking at your specific store, I'm not sure what is happening. Now, what I will say though, and what is generally good advice, because when I do look at people's stores, oftentimes it's usually one of 3 different issues that I'm seeing. The first issue is that the person isn't doing product research properly, meaning they're not finding the right products to sell. And that really requires them to go in, do some digging around, using a product research tool like Zeek to actually find items that people want to buy and that are buying on eBay, and then sell those same ones or very similar ones. That is a skill. Even with software, it is a skill that takes time to develop. So that's the number one thing that I see people making a mistake with. The second thing is that they're not optimizing their listings correctly. When you grab a listing or an item, let's say from AliExpress that you're going to sell, or even like Walmart or Amazon, those are optimized for those websites, but they're not optimized for eBay. So if you want to sell the product on eBay, you have to optimize it. That means changing up the title, changing up the main photo, maybe even tweaking the description a little bit, but mainly the main title. You want to fill that with keywords that people are actually going to be searching for when they're looking for that item. And again, there's research you're going to do to determine what those keywords are. So that is the second mistake that I see people making. They're not fully optimizing their listings. And the third mistake that I see people making, I'll have a bonus fourth one as well, but it's kind of included in this third one. The third mistake I see people making is that they're just not giving it enough time. If you've only been doing this a few days or a couple of weeks, that's not enough time. You have to put more time into this, not only to learn the systems, to learn how to do product research, learn optimization, somewhat through trial and error on your part, but also just putting time in so your store actually grows and picks up that momentum And so you're adding more and more products into your store. Most people, quite frankly, give up way too early on this. This is a great opportunity, especially coming into 2024. If you're looking to start an online business, I still believe that dropshipping is one of the best opportunities there is if you're brand new. And this is one of the best times ever to start doing this, right at the start of the new year. You have these resolutions, you want to change your life, you want financial freedom. This is a good time to be jumping into something like this, but you have to have patience with it. When I first launched my first eBay dropshipping store 7 years ago, like this week, it took me about 7 months, 8 months before I really saw traction with it. Think about that, 8 months. 8 months is really not a long time. In the scheme of how long your life has been already and how much time you have left, 8 months is really not that long. But most people won't even try it for a month before giving up. So don't be one of those people, because the only people that are successful are the ones who keep going, who keep pushing, and eventually they figure it out and are able to get the traction in their store. That's the case with me. That happened 7 years ago. So I just encourage you to be more patient with it, keep trying it, and keep pushing through, because that's the only way you're ever going to be successful with this. Cantaste says, what suppliers do you use other than Walmart or Amazon? Those are my biggest ones at the moment, just because of how reliable they are in terms of quality of products, shipping speeds, returns, all those things. I used to be a big fan of Home Depot, but returns for Home Depot have become more and more difficult. So I'm really pushing away from that pretty quickly, and I'll be updating my course about that. So kind of encouraging people not to use Home Depot anymore because of their returns. Walmart and Amazon are the big ones. Some CJ dropshipping as well. I've really been liking them. If you're going to be dropshipping from China, I think they're one of the better ones to dropship from. Appreciate you, Omar. Cantaste says, do you back research a similar product on Zeek after you find it on your supplier's website before uploading to AutoDS? So I think what you're asking me is, so I've made some videos explaining how when you're looking for products to sell, you can go into Zeek and see what's popular and selling already. And one of the things that is helpful to do is, once you find a product that's popular, go into your supplier's website and see if there's a similar product for sale. Not the exact same one, but something similar. So Cantaste is asking, do you then go back onto Zeek and look for that similar product before actually listing it? You can do that. I have found it mostly to be a waste of time. And the reason for that is because you'd be surprised how many products are available on Amazon and Walmart that no one is selling on eBay yet. There's a lot of products. So about 85, 90% of the time, when we find one of these similar products and we look it up on eBay, either no one's selling it or just a few people are selling it, but they're not doing it well. And by not doing it well, I mean it's not well optimized, so it's not actually selling. And so that information isn't really important to me, because I know that I have an advantage because I know how to optimize. And I know that I can grab some of the keywords from the title that's doing well and plug them into my title for my new product and have that one do better than the ones that aren't selling, if that makes sense. So that's why we really don't look, sort of do that back research. All right, Kared. Lost my voice there for a second. Kared, what is up, man? Happy New Year. Kared says, for 2024, are there any new changes we might need to consider or look out for with dropshipping on Facebook Marketplace? And will you be updating the Facebook Marketplace course accordingly? If so, so grateful for these lives. So I don't have any sort of big changes that I've noticed with Facebook Marketplace dropshipping, besides the fact that Facebook Shops no longer works, unfortunately. But the underlying Facebook Marketplace dropshipping, which is really the bread and butter all along when it came to Facebook Marketplace dropshipping, still remains the same. So there aren't going to be any major updates, at least not any that I have planned for it. I do plan on going through both my eBay course and Facebook Marketplace course, at least just going through them and making sure everything's up to date and relevant, just kind of refreshing a couple of things. But so far, I don't have any major changes planned for the Facebook Marketplace course. So everything should still be up to date and good. Daniel says, where is it better to dropship, Facebook or eBay? Now, to be honest, they're both really great platforms to sell on. I like both of them. At this moment, what I encourage most people to do is actually start with eBay. Facebook Marketplace is a terrific opportunity, but what I've seen is that people are more successful when they start with eBay and then kind of add Facebook onto it. The reason for that is because eBay has been around for longer, and you can really establish a good business on eBay, more sustainable long-term business on eBay. Facebook Marketplace works really well, but I kind of see it more as like an add-on to eBay at this point. With that said, there are plenty of people who just sell on Facebook Marketplace and do extraordinarily well with it. So this is kind of personal preference is really what it comes down to. Which one are you more drawn to? Which one are you more comfortable with? Which one do you like more? And go with that one, or sell on both. But usually at this point, if people ask me, I say start with eBay because we have so much history with it. We know so much about how it works, and sell on there. Use the data that you learn from there about which products are doing well, and then go ahead and sell the same products on Facebook Marketplace. One of the hard things about Facebook Marketplace is that they don't tell us which products are selling well like eBay does, like we can see with eBay through Zeek, the product research tool. So by using Zeek, we can find popular products to sell on eBay, sell some great stuff on eBay, and then if stuff's selling there, we can then go ahead and sell the same stuff on Facebook Marketplace. So that's why I kind of say that you should go that route, kind of like that order. But again, if you're drawn to one over the other, I would go with that one because there are plenty of people who just sell on one or the other and do perfectly well with it. All right, JD says, hey, Paul, I purchased your course yesterday, so welcome, JD. Now about 20% of the way through. Upgraded my current eBay store to a business one, so congrats on that. It already has stuff listed. Do you recommend waiting a week to post? Okay. So first of all, what was I going to say first of all? I would finish the course first, just kind of go through the main modules of the course first, just to make sure that as you're getting started, there's nothing that you're going to miss. I don't want to be too rude here, but you'd be surprised how many times I get emails from people saying like, oh, what do I do in this situation? And I just, politely say to them, that's a really great question. I actually do answer that in the course later on. And they just haven't gotten to that lesson yet. So that's why I always encourage people to just kind of go through the core modules first, lessons first. That way there aren't any surprises for you. But I love that you've already gotten started. You're already moving forward, which is fantastic to see. Do I still recommend waiting a week to post? That depends when you actually listed those items. I would still move, and when that store is actually created. If you want to play it super safe, I would still move through the timeline the way I outline it in the course. Wait a few days, kind of use your account, especially if I haven't used it in a while, and then slowly start to add those products into your account. That way, you're just totally safe with it and kind of, what's the word I'm looking for? Well, just playing it safe. Sizen says, do you know any free product research software? And if not, how can I manually research for products to sell on eBay? So I used to make videos here on YouTube and even inside my course where I would show you how you can actually find products to sell and how to find them manually. That was a process that we would do by going onto eBay. We would do some searching around, look at what's selling because eBay kind of used to give you that information. Unfortunately, eBay doesn't give us that info anymore. So when you look at items on eBay, you'll see how many times the items have sold, but you can't see when they sold. And that is just as important, if not more important. If you use a software tool like Zeek, that will actually show you not only how many times the item sold like eBay does, but when it sold. It will say, hey, this item sold 20 times in the past month. Or you might see an item that sold 100 times, but it hasn't sold at all in the past month. So that's not an item I'm interested in because it's not selling right now. So unfortunately, I don't know a free way of figuring out that information. And if you really want to do well with eBay dropshipping, that's what matters, the products that are selling right now, which is why I'm a big advocate for Zeek because it does give you that information. Happy New Year, Mike. Mike says, do you always add any California prop warnings to listed items? So what Mike is talking about is that a lot of items, not a lot, there are some items you're going to sell that have a California prop warning on them. You can go ahead and look this up. It's Prop 65, I believe. It's some sort of environmental law that California passed. There's certain products that you're not allowed to ship into California or be sold there, and others that you are, but they have these warnings on it. So if a listing on the supplier's website like Walmart has a Prop 65 warning and it automatically transfers over with AutoDS, I leave it. Otherwise, I don't worry about it. That's just the way I do it. All right, CHI says, there are some drop shippers they find on AliExpress that have an estimated delivery of only 4 to 5 days. How is that possible? There's a few reasons that might be happening. The first reason that might be happening is because the person isn't actually drop shipping from AliExpress, but they're actually drop shipping from Amazon. A lot of the products that you'll see on AliExpress, people have already bought and have put into Amazon as an FBA product. So you might actually be able to find the same product directly on Amazon. And because the people on AliExpress or people buying from AliExpress are getting bulk pricing, it might actually be the same price or not a big difference in price on Amazon. So that could be the reason why, or they're just lying about it. But it's probably because the item is coming from Amazon. The final reason it might be happening is because it's actually shipping from an AliExpress US warehouse. That could be the reason why. Yeah, I make videos like this almost every month. I stopped a little bit, but I made one in December. I think I'm going to make one for January. So it's a good idea. I'll put it on the list to make sure I actually do make it. But check out some of those videos I make where I go through product research, and then you can see some winning products in there. My pleasure, Kay Larson. Let me turn that. I don't know why I look like my room is very blue. I just want to turn on a light in here because it's getting a little dark. Is this the correct light? I think that helped a little bit. All right. All right, we have Atlas Stone here. Atlas says, hey, Paul, I just wanted to give you a huge thank you. I started back in June 2023. So what is that, like 6 months ago? Watching your videos and just finished my year-end profit for $15,000 in profit. Congratulations, man. That is awesome. All right, any tips for scaling up in 2024? Most important things. All right, so you're at the 6-month mark. You're doing better than I was 7 years ago. My advice to you is kind of what I gave in the beginning. You got to, I'll say you got to be patient, but you've already seen success. I think you just got to keep going. You have a system that works. And this is a mistake I see people making. They find a system that works, they get the system down and they think they have to try something new to scale up. Usually it's just taking what you have and doing more of it, adding more products, just kind of being a tad more aggressive with it. As soon as I started to be just like that, a tad bit aggressive with adding more products, I was able to see a lot more success with it. So that would be my encouragement to you. Do what you're doing already. Just be a bit more aggressive with it. Usually that means adding more products. It might help you to hire a virtual assistant. I hired my first one around, I think, the 8 or 9 month mark, but you're doing better than I was at the 6 month mark. So you might be ready for a virtual assistant. And if you have someone whose full-time job it is to actually add products according to your criteria, or maybe they can do other stuff like fulfilling orders, customer service while you add products and spending more time on adding products, that can make a big difference. So that would be my advice for you to really scale things up. Nathan is here. Nathan says, I've been trying online selling in Zambia for some time. I feel like it won't be as successful because of the economic issues and people not having much money. What category of products do you think will be up in 2024? That's tough for me, Nathan. Tough for me to answer, I should say, because I'm here in the United States. I'm based here in the United States. I'm selling in the US market. I don't understand markets in other countries, and I don't fully know what it is that you have to do to start selling in the US market as well. There are definitely hurdles you're going to have to get over to do that. I have plenty of students who have been able to do that from countries like the UK or Canada or Australia. But it's hard for me to kind of walk you through that just because that wasn't what I had to do. So I just want to be honest about the things that I do know and don't know when it comes to these online businesses. Hey, what's up, Sanji from Dubai? Or good night, we should say. Do you recommend to test any viral products on TikTok? I don't have a lot of experience with TikTok yet, so I can't really answer that too well for you yet. Guns and Silver is here. Hello, Paul. Quick question. With no LLC, is it possible for me to get a reseller certificate? Yeah. So you do not need to have an LLC to get a reseller's permit. You can do it under your own name. Roshani says, Happy New Year, Paul. Are you running any specials on your courses for the new year? I don't have any planned at the moment for this year, but if you want to get notified about any specials I may be running in the future, just get on my email list. Best way to do that is inside the description of this video. Again, are a bunch of free resources for you. I have guides on eBay dropshipping, Facebook Marketplace dropshipping, best suppliers to use, best software to use. When you download any of them, it will ask for your email address. But the benefit of that is that if I have a special, you'll be the first to know about it. So go ahead and sign up for one of those. That way you get not only the free guide, but also any specials I run in the future. Martin is here. Martin, what's up? He says, hey, Paul, longtime follower. This is not eBay related, but what happened to the RV channel? Yeah, so I used to have a second YouTube channel with my husband where we traveled around the country in a camper van. We bought a house and we settled down. We loved doing the whole van life thing. Nomadic lifestyle was a ton of fun for a few years, but we kind of got burnt out from it. We wanted to finally have a house, so we do. And therefore, there's no channel because there's nothing for us to talk about. We're kind of liking just being at home, living a kind of boring life. There's kind of a joy in it, to be honest. It's actually something I've been thinking about as I've reflected on 2023 and I'm looking forward to 2024. I've kind of been realizing that like my 2023 was in a way kind of boring. Kind of like my life is almost like a bit boring, but I see that now as a good thing, as like a strength, because I think in the past I spent so much time chasing all these exciting things. And I thought because I have an online business and because I'm a YouTuber, that I'm supposed to live like this exotic lifestyle where I'm traveling all the time and getting like business class tickets everywhere and things like that. And that burns me out. Like that's not for me. Like that doesn't bring me true joy. what brings me joy are just like these little things in everyday life, like even just walking my dogs around the block that I do every day. I get my morning coffee. Like these little moments are the things that truly bring me joy. And so looking forward to 2024, what I really want to do for myself is build out more of these special little things in my day, everyday things that don't seem very extraordinary, but just bring me joy, and just include more of those in my day. Just have more satisfaction with my day-to-day life instead of always just looking forward to the future and never fully being satisfied, because after I get there, there's always another goal I have to reach, or another thing that I want to do, or another trip I want to take. And I'll certainly have goals, and I'll certainly have things I want to go do that maybe are bigger, or trips I want to take. But I really want the focus for me to be on the joy in everyday life. So that's one of my kind of goals for 2024. I also have some fitness goals. There are some races I want to do. This isn't something I've talked about on the channel, but I've gotten really into, I don't know if you guys have ever seen like American Ninja Warrior, like when they're swinging around on stuff. There's a gym around here where I live that actually teaches you how to do that. And I started going a few times a week. It's just a lot of fun. Like I go and I get lost there for like hours. I'm learning how to do this stuff. So there are like a couple of these Spartan races or mud runner, what are they called? Tough Mudder races where you have to run and do these obstacles. So I want to do a couple of those this year. So those are things I'm going to be training for to kind of keep my fitness kind of focused in, which I'm pretty excited for to do those. And then, of course, I have some financial goals as well. I want to help more of you. It's a goal of mine every single year to help as many of you start an online business. And I have some really good ideas for that. Nothing I'm quite ready to talk about yet, because one of the things that I'm always striving to do is to bring to all of you different business ideas that you can actually do that actually work. There's a lot floating around the internet of all these different ways to make money online. And I kind of treat myself as a guinea pig, trying a lot of these, sometimes in the background, not even telling all of you about it, and seeing what works, and only really talking about the ones that actually do work. So, and the ones not only that work, but I think that are generally achievable by most people. So there are some businesses that I've come across that even I've made money with that are quite honestly just really hard. And I didn't think that to be a great fit for all of you. But there are other ones that I've tried that just haven't worked. So I haven't even talked about them on this channel. So I have a few ideas about things that show a lot of promise that I'm excited to test out myself. And should they work, I'll definitely be bringing them to you. I'll be making videos about them, emailing you guys about them. So stay tuned for that. But again, I want to test those out for myself first so that when I come to you, I actually have good stuff. I actually have some good information for you that's actually helpful. All right. Yes, congratulations, Atlas Stone. Do you think I should start dropshipping on Facebook Marketplace? Yeah, I kind of answered that one already. That really depends on you. Yeah, so listen back for that one. But, you know, again, I tell most people to start on eBay unless you feel really drawn to Facebook. That's the way to do it, JD. JD says, I'm excited to keep going. I am committed to the full year since I started on New Year's. Yeah, I mean, there is something powerful about that, right? There's New Year's resolutions exist for a reason. And I know certainly for myself, when I started my first eBay store, it was January of 2017. So there was something to that. I could look back at the calendar year and see how far I've come. And that kind of gave me the drive. I said, I got 1 year to figure this out. I got the whole year, but I want to actually give myself the whole year to do it. Lauren says, what is your experience with the Amazon Prime credit card? Yeah, it's good. The problem is that the Prime, you don't want to use Prime for drop shipping. If you have Prime in your account, just cancel it. A lot of times you can get a, what's it called? Like prorated your money back. That's the problem with it, is that you can't really use it because you're not going to be using Prime for drop shipping. You can still use that credit card. I think instead of 5% back, it gives you 3% if you're not using Prime. My problem with it is that I've always been given a low limit on it. They haven't really raised it up for me. So that's kind of frustrating. It's why it's not my main credit card, because the limit on it is just too low. Hey, what's up, Pat? Good to see you again. Yeah, the year ended out strong, as it always does for quarter four. Without looking at your account, I don't know why it happened, but you can email me, paul@pauljlipsky.com, and I'll send you a link to a guy who's an expert on this. He might be able to help you. My pleasure. Waleed says, what do you think about the Terapeak product research tool by eBay? I haven't looked at Terapeak in a while. Last time that I did, I tried it out and gave up on it really fast because I realized that it really wasn't designed for drop shippers. Zeek, which is the software I use, was designed by drop shippers for drop shippers. So it had everything that I need. I forget what Terapeak was missing, but it didn't have what I needed for drop shipping. Nice. Way to go, man. That is awesome. Yeah, again, without looking at your account, I don't know. Same advice I sent you in the beginning, like those 3 things are the things you want to look at. Coffee is bliss. Yeah. Okay, so funny story about, well, not funny story. I never drink coffee, honestly. And when I started eBay dropshipping in 2017, I was running my eBay store and working a full-time job. That was the first time I started drinking coffee, and I really needed it. But after a while, I was like, oh man, I'm definitely getting addicted to this. So after about 4 or 5 months, I quit it, and haven't drank it since. And I don't want that to happen again. So recently, I started drinking decaf coffee just in the morning, and I go outside, even though it's cold. I really like, for some reason, drinking a hot coffee outside when it's cold outside. It feels really good, and it's like a nice way for me to start my morning. I'm right in the sun. It's supposed to be really good for you to get like sun exposure first thing in the morning. I've only been doing it for a little bit now, but it's a really kind of nice way to start my day. And I leave my phone inside. I just kind of enjoy that moment. It's a really good kind of reset for the day. All right. So that is all the questions. One thing that I want to do for this year is I want to change the way that these things look. So I'm going to do that right now. Reminder, click the like button. Appreciate that. So let's go ahead and change. Let's see. Ooh, that's kind of cool, but it's kind of hard to read, right? That's too distracting. It like moves. That's kind of that's kind of cool. It kind of like blurs it. Yeah. Let's see. That's weird. I just feel like I need to like freshen this up. It's like I kind of have this boring gray background for a while. I guess the blur is kind of nice because you can, well, let's try the gradient and let's change this color. Maybe it's so hard to read. Let's try like this. I've been into like these pinks recently for some reason. And then I'll change the color. Edit text. Change that to like white. Save. I don't know. What do you guys think? I'm not loving it. No, I gotta play around with it some more. Health coach says, thanks, Paul. You helped me make my first money online. Be blessed. Congratulations. Best ways to email me, paul@pauljlipsky.com. Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, it's easy to read the solid background. You're right, Mike. All right, let me change this some more. Let me change this to, yeah, then it doesn't look as, maybe I gotta change this. That's not bad, right? Maybe like this color. I don't know. I'll play around some more. All right. Okay, well, that's it for this week, everyone. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for all the great questions. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to give me a thumbs up on this video. It really helps out a lot, so I'd appreciate that. One of my goals is actually to grow this YouTube channel a bit this year, so I might be doing more videos, asking you guys for more likes if you want to support me on that journey. So I would appreciate that. Otherwise, everyone have a fantastic week. I will see you next week for the next live Q&A, which I do every single Tuesday at 4 p.m. Eastern. Bye for now.